All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address a post-budget webinar on agriculture and cooperatives this morning. First G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting to begin in Bengaluru today. Campaigning for assembly elections in Meghalaya and Nagaland enters last leg. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold a series of rallies in both states today. UN General Assembly passes a resolution calling for an immediate end to hostilities between Ukraine and Russia. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to inaugurate All India Taekwondo Championship in New Delhi today. And in T20 Women's World Cup, Australia reached the final, beating India by 5 runs in the semi-final. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a post-budget webinar on agriculture and cooperatives today. It is part of the 12 post-budget webinars which began yesterday and will continue till 11th of March. These webinars are being organized by various ministries and departments to build on the Saptarishi priorities outlined in this year's union budget. The webinars are focused on synergizing efforts of various ministers and departments and all concerned stakeholders towards the preparation of action plans with quarterly targets. The Prime Minister addressed a webinar on green growth yesterday. He said that this year's budget provides several opportunities for investors and people of this country to protect their future by moving towards green growth. He said this budget will play an instrumental role in establishing the country as a lead player in the global green energy market.
भारत ग्रीन एनर्जी से जुड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी में दुनिया में लीड ले सकता है। ये भारत में ग्रीन जॉब्स को बढ़ाने के साथ ही ग्लोबल गुड में भी बहुत मदद करेगा। ये बजट आपके लिए एक अवसर तो है ही, इसमें आपके भविष्य की सुरक्षा गारंटी भी समाहित है। बजट के हर प्रावधान को अमल में लाने के लिए हमें तेजी से काम करना है, मिलकर के काम करना है।
The Prime Minister said schemes and policy initiatives like PM Pranam, Gobardhan and vehicle scrapping policy will play a key role in shaping the future of the country. He urged the investors to come forward to invest in sectors like biofuel, agri-waste, green hydrogen and others, terming the opportunities in the renewable energy as gold mines. The idea of post-budget webinars was conceptualized by the Prime Minister to bring together experts from the public and private sectors, academia, industry and practitioners on the field at a single platform. The first G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting will begin in Bengaluru today. Around 500 delegates are participating in the two-day meet from G20 member countries, including the invitees and representatives of the international organizations. The meet will be opened with a pre-recorded message by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In the first session, deliberations on international financial architecture, sustainable finance and infrastructure will be held. The second session in the afternoon is on financial sector and financial inclusion. Shared global challenges of the 21st century, financing for resilient, inclusive and sustainable cities of tomorrow, and global health and international taxation are some of the topics to be discussed during the meet. The discussions are intended to provide a clear mandate for various work streams of the G20 finance track. Under the G20 presidency of India, today is the third day of the first meeting of the Culture Working Group organized in Khajuraho, Madhya Pradesh. Representatives of the Culture Working Group will discuss several priority topics in 2 important sessions today. More from our correspondent.
In the fourth session of first Culture Working Group meeting, a summary and concluding remarks will also be presented based on the discussions held till date. India has selected 4 main topics for this meeting. These included protection and restitution of cultural property, harnessing living heritage for a sustainable future, promotion of cultural and creative industries and creative economy, leveraging digital technologies for protection and promotion of culture. Meanwhile, G20 delegates visited the western group of temples at Khajuraho yesterday. Along with the visiting Hunar Haat, they also witnessed and enjoyed the mesmerizing Khajuraho Dance Festival. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Khajuraho.
Campaigning for assembly elections in Nagaland and Meghalaya has entered the last leg before coming to an end tomorrow. Political parties are making last-ditch efforts to woo the voters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a joint election rally of NDPP-BJP alliance at Chumukedama district today. More from our correspondent.
Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing a joint election rally of the NDPP and BJP alliance at Agri Expo in Chumukedama district this morning. This will be his first rally in poll-bound Nagaland. More than 20,000 BJP workers and supporters are expected to attend PM's rally. All parties will also hold rallies on the penultimate of the campaigning. After the rally in Chumukedama, Mr. Modi will participate in a roadshow in poll-bound state Meghalaya with Manas Pratim Sharma Asonyo, AIR News, Kohima.
The Prime Minister will also address two election rallies in Meghalaya at Shillong and Tura today. He will pay floral tributes to the freedom fighters of Meghalaya at the State Central Library and hold a roadshow till the police point in Shillong. BJP state leaders have made elaborate arrangements for the Prime Minister's rallies. Mr. Modi will address the rally at Tura in the afternoon. Focus of BJP's campaign is prosperous and empowered Meghalaya. NPP leaders and Chief Minister Conrad Sangma addressed election meetings at Chagmuri in Tikrikila constituency and in Phulbari segment last evening, seeking electors' support for NPP candidates. TMC Student Union held a bike rally in Shillong in support of the party candidates. Polling will be held in both states on the 27th of this month. The 85th plenary session of Congress will begin at Raipur in Chhattisgarh today. The session will start with a steering committee meeting to finalize the agenda for the three-day meeting. Apart from the party's national president Mallikarjun Kharge, former presidents Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi will also attend the convention. Around 15,000 delegates are expected to join the three-day plenary session, which will continue till 26th of February. A public meeting will be organized on the last day of the convention. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. The UN General Assembly has passed a resolution on the need to reach comprehensive, just and lasting peace in Ukraine. The resolution calls for Russia to end hostilities and withdraw its forces from Ukraine. 141 members voted in favor of the resolution, while 7 members opposed it. 32 members, including India, abstained from voting. Foreign ministers and diplomats from more than 75 countries addressed the Assembly during the two-day debate, with many urging support for the resolution that upholds Ukraine's territorial integrity. Permanent representative of India to the UN, Ruchira Kambod, said India continues to remain concerned over the situation in Ukraine. She said the conflict led to the loss of countless lives and misery, with millions becoming homeless.
India's approach to the Ukraine conflict will continue to be people-centric. We are providing both humanitarian assistance to Ukraine and economic support to some of our neighbors in the global south under economic distress, even as they stare at the escalating costs of food, of fuel and fertilizers, which has been a consequential fallout of the ongoing conflict.
India yesterday exercised its right of reply at United Nations General Assembly against Pakistan and advised Islamabad to look at its track record as a state that provides safe havens to terrorists. At the UN General Assembly, 11th Emergency Special Session Indian Chancellor Pratik Mathur said Pakistan has only to look at itself and its track record as a state that harbors and provides safe havens to terrorists and does so with impunity. He also advised that Pakistani delegation to refer to the numerous rights of replies that India has exercised in the past. Mr. Mathur said such uncalled for provocation is particularly regrettable and certainly misplaced at a time when, after 2 days of intense discussions, all UN member states agreed that path of peace can be the only path forward to resolve conflict and discord. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav. I beg your pardon. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz will be on a two-day visit to India from tomorrow. Chancellor Scholz will be accompanied by senior officials and a high-powered business delegation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chancellor will hold discussions on bilateral, regional and global issues. The two leaders will also interact with CEOs and business leaders of both sides. Chancellor Scholz will also call on the President Draupadi Murmu. The Food Safety and Standards Authority of India has specified a comprehensive group standard for millets under Food Safety and Standards Second Amendment Regulations 2023. Union Health Ministry in a statement said that it will be enforced from 1st of September this year. Currently, individual standards for only a few millets like jowar, bajra, ragi and amaranth are prescribed. The authority has now framed a comprehensive group standard for 15 types of millets, specifying 8 quality parameters. This is to ensure availability of good quality millets in domestic and global markets. The small grain cereal food crops millets are highly tolerant to drought and other extreme weather conditions, requiring low inputs of fertilizers and pesticides. Most of the millet crops are native to India and provide most nutrients required for normal functioning of human body. More than 5 lakh patients have availed benefit of faster OPD registrations using the Scan and Share service under Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia hailed the quick and queue-less OPD registration in a tweet. He said that within 5 months of its launch, the service has been adopted by 365 hospitals across the country. The National Health Authority, under its flagship scheme Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, in October last year, introduced the Scan and Share service for faster OPD registrations. Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Singh Thakur will inaugurate the 3-day All India Taekwondo Championship at Indira Gandhi Stadium in New Delhi today. The championship is being organized to mark the 50 years of Korea-India diplomatic relations. An MOU will also be signed in the field of sports exchange between the two countries. The Korean Cultural Center, India, is co-hosting the championship with the Sports Authority of India in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Korea-India diplomatic relations. In cricket, Australia have entered the final of Women's T20 World Cup, beating India by 5 runs in the semi-final at Newlands in Cape Town last night. Chasing the target of 173 runs, women in blue could only score 167 for 8 in the stipulated 20 overs. Captain Harmanpreet Kaur was the highest scorer with 52 runs in 34 balls. Australia had won the toss and elected to bat. With the help of Beth Mooney's 54 and skipper Meg Lanning's unbeaten 49, Australia scored 172, losing 4 wickets. In the second semi-final this evening, England will clash with South Africa. The final will be played on Sunday. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav.
Thank you, Anuja. The front page headlines and all the dailies talk about Prime Minister Modi asserting India to be the fastest in renewable energy capacity addition since 2014. Hindustan Times writes, PM Modi hails country's potential for green jobs, while the Asian Age quotes the Prime Minister saying India's green energy is a gold mine. A headline in the Economic Times writes, new telecom bill to be tabled in monsoon session. GST revenues hit a record 1.59 lakh crore rupees in January, reports The Hindu. According to a study, polyfluorinated substances are polluting wildlife around the world, states The Pioneer, under the headline, Forever Chemicals taking huge toll on wildlife worldwide. And finally, the Times of India cites the addition of another jewel to the great Indian diaspora, under the headline, Biden's MasterCard nominates Ajay Banga as World Bank Chief. And with that, it's back to you, Anuja.
Thank you, Vaibhav. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address a post-budget webinar on agriculture and cooperatives this morning. First G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting to begin in Bengaluru today. Campaigning for assembly elections in Meghalaya and Nagaland enters last leg. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold a series of rallies in both states today. United Nations General Assembly passes a resolution calling for immediate end to hostilities between Ukraine and Russia. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to inaugurate All India Taekwondo Championship in New Delhi today. And in T20 Women's World Cup, Australia reached final, beating India by 5 runs in the semi-final. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.